You always have to love the question, what do you do for a living? When you're sitting there on the weekend, relaxing, which is great. Love talking to people about it. We study the salacious maneuvers of an overblown machine that was once meant to represent us, which no longer does because it only represents the uber elites. And then discuss and report on the bastardization of virtually every law, rule, and constitutional principle we have in the United States, put it all together and report it to you. There's a summation. Because every day now we have a variety of topics, and today is absolutely the quintessential example of those topics, because when Ashley Biden comes out and confirms a secret, and it was only a secret before, it had never been confirmed until now. And why are we going to cover that? And why do we continue to cover all these maneuvers when most people are right? And I'm not going to argue there is really no Republican and Democrat anymore. It just simply doesn't exist. It's a melded mess, a melting pot of a disaster made to represent only those that we can only fathom the amount of money they have. And hence the machine runs the machine. But that doesn't mean we give up nor we surrender as we continually pursue to make this once again a constitutional republic. Not what they call it, and they love to call it, as in a democracy. Because if you think we're still a constitutional republic, we should be, but we stopped being a long time ago. But there's a glimmer of hope now, isn't there? There's a glimmer of hope in the article you see on your screen right now, the one we're going to start this broadcast off when we return in just a minute, and then go into the dark secrets and that mega bombshell that Biden's own daughter just confirmed. And we'll be back in just 1 minute. Now, before we get there, huge favor, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. If you're new here and you're finally catching up on where the real news is and how it should be presented, I'd love you to subscribe. It means the world to us. There's a means of supporting me here. There's also a means of supporting me and where I can give you even more news. The news that simply can't provide anywhere else anymore. It's simply not allowed. That's why we created, Lisa Haven and myself, restrictedrepublic.com right now to enjoy this. This is news with no commercials, no interruptions, no sponsors, but you can only get that at restrictedrepublic.com. And right now, by using discount code Trump2024, you ready for this? $2.99 a month for 3 years. $2.99 a month for 3 years. That is a mega offer. We're going to try to keep it going as long as we can. We want you there. Subscribe today, 14 days for free. Get all our broadcasts, Lisa Haven and mine, plus all our exclusive daily content. And it is the news you've been looking for, fully referenced, researched, and made for our audience based on your recommendations and what we absolutely know is critical for you to understand. RestrictedRepublic.com. RestrictedRepublic.com. Discount code Trump2024, monthly checkup. And now let's get back to this broadcast. So Trump is now leading in 5 battleground states. Does that surprise you? All of which Biden won in 2020. Why do you think that is? Former President Donald Trump is leading President Biden in 5 critical toss-up swing states, all of which Biden had won in 2020. The new set of polls reveal surveys by the New York Times, Siena College, and the Philadelphia Inquirer found that Trump was more popular than Biden among voters in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Only one holdout so far, which is Wisconsin, still staying in the Biden camp for the moment. All 6 of the battleground states looked at it in the polls were won by Biden in 2020, and victories in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in 2024 would be enough for Biden to secure his reelection, as long as he did not lose any of the states he won 4 years ago. But now, well, that's changing quickly. The poll numbers reveal how issues like inflation, the Israel-Hamas war, and immigration have caused widespread dissatisfaction with Americans. No, oh crap, Sherlock. You think so? But yet people don't hold out faith. They still think that Biden has a chance of winning, that he'll actually be their candidate up until the end. See, I don't believe that much. They won't have a chance with this man. Nearly 70% of voters polled said the country's political and economic systems need a major overhaul. They do, because we're failing on every front. Many voters polled even admitted that while they still dislike Trump, he would be the candidate to change things up. Trump and Biden are currently tied among 18 to 29-year-old. I can't believe this. 18 to 29-year-olds. Not easy for me to say. And among Hispanic voters. Even though over 60% of the demographic voted for Biden in 2020. Everything's changing because people can't look past the blaring headlines. You see, the Bidens had two secrets come out. One, I still can't believe that the administration is using. U.S. sites intelligence offers Israel supplies to limit Rafah operations. However, it's in exchange for something. If you'll just back off the Rafah offensive a bit, here's what we'll do for you. We'll tell you where those Hamas leaders are so you can limit your strikes and not hurt as many civilians. But you see, in a partnership, why would you be using that as leverage? The Biden administration, working urgently to stave off a full-scale Israeli invasion of Rafah, is offering Israel valuable assistance in an effort to persuade it to hold back, including sensitive intelligence to help the Israeli military pinpoint the location of Hamas leaders and find the group's hidden tunnels. Why wouldn't you already provide that? Aren't they a terrorist organization? Isn't it in the best interest of we the people in the United States of America that these terrorist organizations are broken apart immediately? Not simply broken apart when it is useful as a piece of leverage? And Biden wonders why he's losing support? Iranian lawmaker declares Tehran obtained nuclear bombs, and the administration wonders why he's losing support. This is all under Biden's watch. The Afghanistan debacle, and now, at least rumored, that Iran has nuclear bombs. Do you understand the implications of that statement? In my opinion, we have achieved nuclear weapons, but we do not announce it. But let's take this further, shall we? As we continue to cover how the lawfare against Trump erodes, the weaponized Department of Justice, who in every way, shape, and form appears to have been directed as to exactly what to do to keep Trump off the campaign trail. Julie Kelly's done an amazing job covering some developments in this story, from defense motion related to numerous search warrants against Trump aide Walter Nauta. Well, what happened in this case? Oh, that's right. There was an insider that had offered to rat out Trump. The problem is, who was acting as political enemies of President Trump, including one attorney who had an attorney-client privilege relationship with President Trump. And this is all within the Department of Justice paperwork. Do you see how they're playing this game? They're not playing an upfront, nice game of pool with you. No, this is dirty pool. Don't turn your back for a minute, because if you do, well, you'll never hear about it unless you're here. Corporate media won't cover it. Mainstream media, call it what you will. The offense use attorney-client violations as the basis for evidentiary allegations, but the SO cannot use the information it gathers improperly to justify a warrant or as evidence against a third party. Will it come out in the wash that maybe one of those warrants to go into Mar-a-Lago were pulled based on attorney-client privileged information? So far, they've messed up everything else in the case. You see, all the cases have eroded and crumbled. Engeron, who we covered last week, Georgia and Fannie Willis going into the garbage can, the classified document scandal now falling apart as Jack Smith has made more mistakes than is humanly imaginable. So everything is now residing on the shoulders of the Stormy Daniels case. It is. And Michael Cohen's testimony today, oh, that's not a basket I want to keep my eggs in any way, shape, or form. Trump, gag order. Cohen, go ahead and sell whatever you want. Sell T-shirts at Trump. Even though there, Mr. Cohen responded. Contrary to the allegations in the complaint, which are entirely speculative, neither Mr. Cohen nor Central Consultants made any in-kind contributions to Donald J. Trump for president or presidential committee. Mr. Cohen has not been a government employee, and Mr. Cohen, before the U.S. presidential election, Mr. Cohen used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford. Neither did Trump, Stephanie Clifford, Stormy Daniels. That's her real name. Neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Miss Clifford. Highly confidential to the FEC. They don't allow the FEC person to testify, even though Michael Cohen, convicted serial liar, is going to testify when he's already written a letter that none of it ever happened. And Stormy Daniels been on the record saying none of it ever happened. Let's actually listen in here for a minute.
Okay, but you say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or raped or coerced or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim in that regard.
And that would be case closed. But of course, it's not case closed. Now we're going to continue to have to dredge through this just gruesome amount of testimony that has no basis in reality whatsoever. All the people involved have already admitted Trump's innocence, but we'll continue through. But yet it's so bad that Alvin Bragg continues to think, well, Alvin Bragg's office deleted phone call records of Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels' lawyer. This isn't even the worst thing yet, though, folks. See, they don't play fair pool. They play dirty pool. A paralegal for the Manhattan Attorney General Alvin Bragg's office testified on Friday during former President Trump's hush money trial that some phone records between Michael Cohen and Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels' lawyer, were deleted, raising questions of evidentiary integrity, which doesn't exist anymore in any case that relates to Donald J. Trump, and hence why the polls are flipping so badly. But if that wasn't enough, again, we just did a broadcast 48 hours ago. This is all new information. This is how quick it develops. It's Ashley Biden, Joe's daughter. Remember her diary that was stolen. Then they sentenced the lady who stole it to a month in prison, ordered to pay $20,000. But there's a problem now, because Ashley decides, Amy Harris is the one who stole it, by the way, and then it got sold. That's a problem. You shouldn't steal other people's property. But nobody ever had claimed up until this point that diary and those entries in particular, I have always been boy crazy, Ashley wrote. Hypersexualized at a young age. I remember somewhat being sexualized with a family member. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate, she wrote in a January 2019 entry according to the Daily Mail, but that was never confirmed. Well, that was then, and this is now. April 8, 2024, the Honorable Laura Taylor Swain, Chief United States District Judge, a letter going to her. Dear Chief Judge Swain, I am deeply saddened that I have to write this letter because my personal private journal was stolen and sold for profit. That's her journal. She just confirmed it. Go down to the bottom, Ashley Biden, which means if that entry was in the journal, and Ashley now confirms that it was her journal, my folks, the White House's darkest secret just came right out of the closet, right into the election. Down goes Frazier, but will the American people even notice? Will they say a word? Will they do anything, or will they allow this perversion to continue, this corruption of law and legal process, this demolition of any rule of law, nor constitutional right, nor principle, or will they continue just to sit back and accept it? I'm telling you, my friends, if this isn't a landslide of an election, then we seriously have major integrity issues throughout this country. And I'm going to continue to bring you every single development. And I know a lot of people, well, why did it take you so long to get to the point? Because we cover all the news. Sometimes we'll focus on one specific topic, but when there's this much coming out, do you really want me missing all the details that will eventually lead into a future story? I don't feel that's my responsibility. I feel my responsibility to you is to bring you everything, all the news, all the details, all the information. And you can always fast forward, skip through, get to the parts you want, or listen to the whole thing and become far more educated, because I need you to be talking with everyone you know. In this plain sense, to educate as many as possible, to make it this black and white, how easy it is to see exactly what they're doing. And I hope you appreciate that. I hope I see it in the comments. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.